We got a real big week ahead of us, and most people aren't even paying attention. But that's making me think that maybe something big is coming for the price action as well. But because you watch every episode of my channel and you're subscribed, that's why you're going to have a cutting edge on the market and make life-changing money in this bull market. Over the past week, we saw BlackRock have its first day of no inflows, and Fidelity actually had its first day of outflows. But in positive news, according to this article on The Street, $2 trillion asset manager BNY Mellon has disclosed a Bitcoin ETF exposure. America's oldest bank is embracing crypto products via BlackRock and Grayscale's spot Bitcoin ETFs per SEC filing. It doesn't say how much they actually put into these ETFs, but it does say that they invested in BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust and the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, two of the most popular investment vehicles for Bitcoin exposure following their SEC approval this year. Even though it doesn't say how much they have actually put into these ETFs, if they have $2 trillion in assets under management, then maybe just say they put in only 1% of their assets under management. And if they've only put 1% of their assets under management into these Bitcoin trusts, then they've already put $200 billion in. Also, it looks like we just got an update on the possibility of cryptocurrency being added whenever X Payments finally does go live. According to this article on Cointelegraph, X Payments details have now been released with the app to become your bank account. On December 21st, 2023, Elon Musk told ARK Shares' Cathie Wood that he plans to launch the in-app payment services on X midway through 2024. It looks like we are approaching midway through 2024, so hopefully we're going to be seeing X Payments go live soon. Apparently, he's got more than 25 money transmitter licenses, and they only did apply for 32 the last time I checked, so maybe we're getting pretty close, and hopefully X Payments is going to be going live soon. Unfortunately, though, it goes on to say several commentators have shared that X's upcoming payments feature will initially offer only support for fiat currencies. However, Musk has reportedly instructed developers at X to build the platform's payment system in such a way that crypto functionality can be added in the future. This means that it's not really looking like we're probably going to be having cryptocurrency services added whenever X Payments goes live initially, but I think they're going to be working pretty hard to get it functional in the future. It just might take some time, and from what I've researched in the past, it looks like they might actually have to do some kind of a crypto transmitter license as well, instead of only these money transmitter licenses. I'm sure a bunch of people just clicked off the video, and I probably even lost some subscribers. I have been actually recently, because I haven't been just pumping up the Bitcoin or Dogecoin narrative and just making people FOMO into these coins. I've actually been being reasonable, and I'm going to keep doing that no matter what happens to my subscriber count. But if you do appreciate that, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button, because I really am trying to grow a community of people who actually want to make life-changing money in cryptocurrency and not just be hyped up to the moon. It goes on to say, despite Musk showing a high level of enthusiasm for cryptocurrency in the past, and with Tesla still holding 9,720 Bitcoin on its books and Dogecoin being accepted currency in the electric car company's merchandise store, Musk has splashed cold water on any hopes of crypto integration on X. In December, he told Wood that he spends hardly any time thinking about cryptocurrency. Since then, he has not made any statements confirming that crypto would be used for X payments. Don't give up hope just yet, though, because we do have some positive news about this. Over on X, Christopher Stanley, the Chief Information Security Officer for X Payments, had something to say. Somebody was basically implying that X Payments is only going to be used for tipping, and he said it's not just tipping. I can pull money into X and store it in my X wallet, send money to any X Payments user. Think of it like Venmo at first, then as things evolve, you can gain interest, buy products, eventually use it to buy other things in stores like Think Apple Pay, etc. But the end goal is that if you ever have any incentive to actually take money out of our system, then we have failed. You shouldn't ever need to take money out, because you should be able to do anything you need to on our platform. So while maybe we're not going to be getting cryptocurrency services added to the X Payments platform right away as soon as it goes live, it looks like they are planning to build it out with cryptocurrency services in the future, because they don't want you to actually be cashing out of the platform. They want it to be an all-inclusive ecosystem to where you can buy anything you need to, and that probably includes cryptocurrencies and DeFi things as well. So eventually, I think we're probably going to be getting crypto added to X payments. It's just going to be a matter of time, and it is going to take time for them to build out the infrastructure. In negative news, according to this article on Forbes, it looks like the DOJ has arrested Bitcoin wallet founders amid cash-like privacy concerns. It says traditional cash transactions have long offered anonymity that modern digital finance struggles to match. A lot of people have actually been concerned over whether we're going to get a CBDC and whether the government is going to be able to see every transaction that you make. But with everybody wanting Bitcoin to replace the dollar as the world reserve currency, that's going to be the case anyway if they actually adopt Bitcoin and replace the dollar with it, because all of the transactions can actually be seen through the blockchain, and they want to make sure that you can't use any services that don't do KYC or know your customer. This basically means that they're going to be able to directly link every single transaction to a person, and if the blockchain says that you've been performing any illicit activity, well, then they can come after you, obviously. That's also something that a lot of people in cryptocurrency don't want to actually say out loud, but it's something that we definitely have to consider, especially whenever we're letting the government take our rights away to use peer-to-peer transactions instead of going through centralized exchanges that use KYC. It says the recent arrests of Keone Rodriguez and William Lenergan Hill, executives and founders of Samurai Wallet, highlight the tension between privacy ideals and the demands for greater regulatory oversight. As detailed in the press release, federal prosecutors accused Samurai Wallet of facilitating about $2 billion in unlawful transactions, with more than $100 million directly linked to money laundering from illegal dark web markets since 2015. We continue to see attacks by the U.S. government going after these people who are facilitating transactions and not asking people to upload their personal information in order to facilitate a small transaction. But down here it references a post by Walker at Walker America, and he says, why aren't bankers ever indicted or arrested for facilitating money laundering? Jeffrey Epstein didn't bank himself. The cartels don't bank themselves. They don't use Bitcoin mixing services. They use the biggest banks in the world and the US dollar. A lot of people in the crypto space have finally started to wrap their head around this concept, and hopefully they're going to spread this information to newbies as they come into the crypto space. The only way to escape the traditional and corrupt financial system that facilitates things like Jeffrey Epstein and these cartels is to adopt a cryptocurrency that is decentralized like Bitcoin or maybe even Dogecoin. But so-called representatives in the government and these regulators are going to fight us every step of the way because they want to continue doing shady business deals and receiving lobby money from big corporations without everybody being able to see what's going on. Meanwhile, they also want to be able to see everything that you're doing just to know that they have ultimate control over every little aspect of your life. It's time for the people to stand up against this kind of tyranny, and the first step in doing that is escaping the traditional finance system so that they can't attack you whenever you speak out. Finally, we got a really big week coming up ahead, like I said at the beginning of the video. According to this article on CoinDesk, this may be the key to reviving the Bitcoin bull run, because this week we're expecting the Treasury's refunding announcement. The past few weeks have been quite boring for crypto traders, as Bitcoin has been primarily range-bound between $60,000 and $70,000, but the broader uptrend, however, could soon resume, as analysts expect next week's quarterly refinancing announcement, or QRA, from the U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen to offer relief to riskier assets. The announcement detailing the 3-month borrowing needs of the U.S. government has become pivotal in the post-sickness world of record debt, elevated inflation, and interest rates. The announcement also discloses the size and duration of the bond issuance, as well as the balance to be held in the Treasury General Account. It says the debt issuance plan impacts markets throughout the yield channel. Higher bond issuance or supply pushes down bond prices and lifts yields, the so-called risk-free rate. This disincentivizes risk-taking in financial markets, but reduced issuance has the opposite effect. Basically, this can be summed up by saying that if they print more bonds, then that's basically pushing liquidity into the system, but if they reduce the issuance, well, then that's drying the liquidity up. Also, we've got earnings coming up this week, which is probably going to be a really big catalyst since we already got GDP lower than expected, and if we start to see any of these earnings coming in weak or lower than expected, then it could add to the fears that we're going into a recession. And while it could cause a short-term sell-off, a lot of people like BlackRock or Larry Fink are saying that Bitcoin could be a flight to safety in the case of a recession. And after the short-term sell-off is over, the stock market could continue to plummet while Bitcoin recovers and starts to trade like actual digital gold. Also, at the time of recording, in just under 3 days, we do have another FOMC meeting with a rate decision, which is probably going to be a pause with a 97% chance of that happening. But all eyes are going to be on Jerome Powell in the Fed meeting to see what he's going to have to say in this briefing. Because if he does mention that we're starting to see cracks forming in the banking sector again, then it could indicate that they're going to have to lower interest rates ahead of schedule and start adding liquidity back into the system like they did back whenever we started seeing banks collapse last year. Whenever that happened, we pretty much overnight saw them add several $100 billion to their balance sheet, and this almost perfectly marks the beginning of the bull run for Bitcoin as people started to realize that the Fed will provide liquidity if they have to. If we start to see more banks struggling and a contagion working its way through the system, then it's just a matter of time until the Fed starts to add again to this balance sheet, and when you start to see this line going up, I think that's going to be a pretty perfect sign that crypto is about to go parabolic. Also this week, we do have Hong Kong letting their ETFs start trading for Bitcoin and Ethereum. And this says it's going to be happening on April 30th, which is, I guess, on Tuesday here. But I think it's supposed to happen on Thursday, which would be Wednesday here. But either way, it's going to be happening this week. Bitcoin is still sitting in this bull flag formation, and it's pretty much right in the middle of it, actually, with low volatility and volume. But the production cost has increased to about $70,000 according to the chart that I was looking at in my previous video, and that usually does act as the floor, so maybe we do have some buying pressure coming ahead of us, and if we can break out of this bull flag formation, then it still has that price target of over $100,000, and any of those big catalysts that I mentioned that's coming up this week could be the thing that's going to send us breaking out of this pattern. So let me know in the comments, are you guys excited for this week? And do you guys think it's going to be big pumpy or big dumpy? Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. But most importantly, don't forget to do only good every day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.